Welcome to Earth Impulse.
Okay, so today I guess we're gonna have just a casual conversation, right? About things that are personal to us right now, right? So this is just something that is, as we found out talking before, that it usually clicks. A lot of things that you go through personally click in more, in the group environment. And so these talks I really value because I get a lot of, those aha moments and things that are clicking. So for me to be able to sort of go into that next level of what I'm going through personally, I always love to share it with others. Yeah. And then because then I get the feedback, and especially like, with Claudia, we've done that a lot, but today we have Kara with us too. So we just want to share what is clicking for us personally right now. And we just sharing. There is no right or wrong. Here we just sharing the information and sharing our own personal experiences with the personal awakening and how it might have something to do with the collective level. Yeah. Because we are part of the collective. So so we are here.
Okay.
Kara, thank you for organizing this talk.
Thank you,
I'm always happy to share. And so is Claudia, and thank you, Claudia, too, for for joining us, because the reason why I contacted Kara and said, hey, there's some things you said in the ESG chat that when click here, so I want to expand on that a little more, and that's how. So here we are.
Okay. So what did click within you?
Well, the thing is, the one thing that clicked about you for me, Kara, and since maybe you can tell a little bit about your background, but first I'm gonna say, there was a group talk, and you talked about a little bit. You've touched on about the copying on frequencies.
Oh, okay.
And what it triggered to me, it's instantly triggered in me the Hatibov material.
What?
Yes, Hatibov, which is a Russian scientist.
Oh.
And so he figured a lot of stuff out about the copies of frequencies. And so when you said that, I said, okay, I need to sort of, you hold some information there that might help me to understand this copying process and what this reality, because what we're doing right now, we have to decode the matrix for us to be able to space dust it, as I like to say it. We need to decode it, and so that's basically what we're doing.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed there are sometimes a little bit confusion between the artificial intelligence and the organic intelligence, because there's quite a difference. And to me, my 2 cents, because I really, the last thing I want to do here is playing the authority, because I'm not. I'm just sharing how I feel things, like you both are doing as well. And that's our clique, the three of us, because we are all three know that we can only be sovereign from within. There's no power outside of us that is stronger or less stronger than us. So what well, make it simple. When we talked about it, Claudia shared a picture. I found a picture on the internet. And that picture, for me, I was looking for a picture like that. I don't decoded everything in it, but basically a bit. I printed it out today, and I want to show it to you. Like, if you see this, I have to hold it high because I put my laptop on the staple of books here. If you look at this, you see one big circle and 2 circles in the middle. Well, I don't know if you believe in crop circles, because there are organic crop circles and there are artificial intelligent crop circles. So some crop circles will resonate within us, and some crop circles are basically bullshit and distraction. Well, what is bullshit today? So already when I found this picture on the internet, I was like, okay, this is it. This is the heart of all things. This is our origin. This is how it all starts. The heart of it. Because we are all seedlings. We are all seedlings of the one heart. And for me, the one heart is the heart of the flower. The heart of the flower, because when we are in our stillness, we are in sacred geometry. We are in geometric stillness. We are in the true heart of it all. And I mean in the real true heart of it all. The true heart of it all is a flower of life. When you have the 13 circles, and you take the heart of it, the 13th circle, or there's a movie made of it, the 13th floor, but it's basically, it's not a floor, it's not upstairs, it's inward. It's the heart of it. So if you picture this in the middle of the flower of life, the middle, so really the heart, with all the seedlings. How does creation work? Because when we see the flower of life, people always take it very flat. And they see like I'm not a technical person. I don't know proper English, so you have to forgive me for all of that. But the flower of life, you see always like the Visca piscus. To me, that is flat. That is a flat interpretation, because there is really no time and space. So the flower of life, when the heart, and we are all the hearts, there's only one heart flowing through all of us. But when the flower of life is created, it always creates, that's why I like your birthday, Lily, it always creates 12 times 12 knots from the heart. So from that 13th circle in the middle, it creates basically 2, like a twin. It creates basically 2 in the heart, so not outside of itself, but it creates in the heart, it creates 2 circles. So when we see the flower of life, when you see the Visca piscus, when we are talking now, the 3 of us, and we stay in our sovereignty, we create a sphere around us. We are the sphere. So we have 3 spheres here. But we need to talk with each other. And how the mental world talks with each other, or the 3D world, or the matrix world, it overlaps. But on a flat level. Then it's penetrating. And then you give your power away. Because there's an overlap and there's a hole. That's why I resonate so much with you, Lily, when I saw you explaining your beautiful fits. And I already fell in love with you that time when you explained the yin yang. I was like, yeah, that's a huge key what you're doing there. And that's what I I saw more videos with you, and I really loved what you share. The flower of life is created instantly, but that means 144 spheres in the moment. It's not like when you see little YouTubes with how the flower of life is made, like ping, 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 with all these viscous, or how you say that?
Overlays.
Overlay. But do you see how is the flower of light created? And you see that these overlays. No, that's from a 3D mental perspective. It's not like that. It's all there in once. When this is created, it is creating a twin, 144 spheres here and 144 spheres here. And a sphere, like we are sitting here now as 3 sovereign beings. What we are doing, if we really stay sovereign, we create a 4th sphere in the middle of us, like a temporary sphere. Then we all 3 stay sovereign. We create a temporary sphere in the middle of us, in the heart of it all, let's say, in the heart of our 3. And in that way, we share in that temporary sphere. So we don't have to diminish ourselves like this. We don't have to diminish ourselves, because here you're diminishing yourself quite a bit. We stay full and sovereign. We only share in that temporary sphere when we are now sitting together. And in case people are watching us or listening, they do the same thing. They're adding their sovereign part to that sphere in the heart of it, so they don't have to diminish in case they stay in their sovereignty. If they give their power away, they do the 3D thing and they overlap, like we do like we used to do on Earth in our love relationships. You know, we are penetrating and taking, and with that conditional love. But the way, if you do it like this, and then the moment we push stop record or leave meeting, that temporary sphere just dissolves. It's gone. It doesn't stay there. It goes away. You see what I mean? And then you stay sovereign. Then you're adding in the now, but when we are not there, it goes. But if one of us has an attachment to it, and like, oh, that was, placing it outside of yourself instead of seeing it pouring out of you, then you create this again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely and totally.
And what, for you as well, Lily, sorry.
I've experienced this when communicating with the so-called unseen. And I've seen it and heard it.
And for you, Lily?
For me, this is why I even made quite a few videos talking about the things in secret geometry that are overlays. And one of the things that I was picking on a lot that was the Merkaba field. Mm-hmm. And so at one point I said, which I have to go into a lot more details about that. I already had a lot more insight on that, which I will do at some point, and go into all those details. But I've said at one time to somebody that if Merkaba field worked for our ascension, it would not be, it's like voting. If it worked, it wouldn't be allowed. And so the thing is with the spiritual teachings, including the Merkaba field. If it really worked for our spiritual sovereignty, it would not be allowed. What is happening, if it worked, it would not be on the flag of the country that is responsible and that race that is responsible for human sacrifice. on the planet. So all the teachings, all the spiritual teachings that teach Merkaba field, and this is I said 2 years ago, that teach Merkaba field, teach matrix enslavement.
Yeah, I cannot, if you look at this, for me, it hurts. I cannot explain it. I cannot look at it. It hurts. It feels, I feel stuck. It just hurts.
Yes.
And they told me I would channel this. And it's quite the opposite. They told me I will channel this. Not in so many words, but sorry, it hurts.
When I try to do a Merkaba field protection, and there is people out there in alternative media that have been pushing that on everybody. When I tried to do that, when I was still in my age of being involved with these communities, with ascension communities, when I tried to do that one time, my dogs went crazy, and like you said, it hurt me so bad, and I said, never again will I do this shit to myself. And so this is where my understanding of it started coming from. I saw it for what it was.
I was connecting some dots. And first speak about copying, because I really want to say something about copying. Because when we talked, the three of us, before last week, we talked a little bit about it, but I want to repeat it, a bit of that. Because, where to start? So much coming in. To start with forgiving. We really need to start with forgiving. We need to start with forgiving the mind and see it like a little child. Because I'm distracting now. Okay, I'll come there. But yesterday there was, Lily, you posted it. Something with, I don't know if we need to mention the name here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it was and who triggered it. But I noticed there's a trap, a program trap to go into that. And because my natural innocence, and I see that you as well, is to see the beauty and the innocence in everything and everyone. And I've been untaught that during that ascension period. I've been completely untaught that. And it was necessary because I needed to see there was what was happening in the world. And for a period, I placed it outside of myself. But I noticed since that time, there's more in me, a thing that is, and it needs to be discerning, but not losing the beauty of it. Because I heard a comment, someone commented, it was Betsy, do I say the name right? And it was a beautiful, powerful comment. I was like, wow, it was so humbling. And I yes, come on. If we see the mind as little children, really as little children, and we see it as our children, then we really need to forgive the mind. And everything we say about the mind, we need to forgive. Because what is love if it not leads to forgiving? Because if we are not able to forgive, we have all these old emotions of anger and guilt and shame and blame. They will keep coming up. And you will hear it through your voice in whatever way. You really need to start to forgive the mind and see it as our child, within and without. And
yes.
So if you...
So, but the thing is like all of this actions that are true actions that we need to do, they're all been hijacked. And what has been done with language and all of that stuff, this overlay has been imposed on the language, on the terms, on secret geometry, and it's been all imposed on us.
Everything.
So this is what is happening as you first starting to wake up for real. Because I had, we had a stage fake awakening that was a trap for those that started to wake up, because people first start to wake up, they're in this confusion state because their spirit was like in a coma. And so when a person wakes up from a coma, what happens is the system, the parasitic or the invasive consciousness, is going to try to confuse the living shit out of people, so because they're still in confusion waking up from the coma. And that's the only time that they can cap that person again and tell them lies that they start believing. And so this is why there's so much of that sort of controlled opposition to awakening that presented itself as the awakening or the truth seekers, you know. And this is my sort of thing with alternative media is that revealing that what they are is because they're just another program that goes right as a person starts waking up from the coma, boom, there's a program that's put on them. There's somewhere right there is trying to catch that person.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky. I have found some beautiful beings on my path during the ascension training, what they called it. But I always noticed, and I always knew it. I knew I had to be there, but I always noticed the difference between the messenger and the message. It was huge. The message was like, wow, really. And the messenger was, and I'm not talking about one messenger in particular, because I don't want to do the blame and shame game, but there was always a huge contrast. But going back to the copying thing, when you go in nature, or look at our pets, or copying is like when a baby is first coming into earth, it's copying the parents. So copying it's not we cannot, if we really start forgiving and we see it through the eyes of love and beauty, copying is not per se a bad thing, because then it leads to more blame and shame and guilt. It's almost natural when a creator creates its first creation. It's almost starting immediately. It started out as a copy. This whole universe started out as a copy. And it's not because the original creator was right or wrong, but it just copied the where it came from. And there's no judgment there. But then, in the time, it was because Earth was not in the time and space we know now. A lot of things happened. And now where we are now is... well, let's go first how the matrix or the mind works, what my 2 cents is. Like if we have that 144 frequencies, like 12 dimensions, 12 vibrations, and 12 frequencies per vibrations, the frequencies, that was organic. That was pure organic intelligence, like the playing ground where we can learn, safe playing grounds. That is high intelligence to give us all the heartbeats and all the life lessons that we need to learn. But then, when a group ascended out of the matrix, like 2 billion out of 8 billion, ascended out of the matrix, out of the whole, then the mind has been created, and the mind copied the vibrations into frequencies and copied the frequencies into sub-frequencies. And then the copy started, and then, all the stuff, we all know how much came from that. So not all. We start to learn or see what came from that. But we started out from organic intelligence. And what I see now happening on the planet, it's like there are 2 experiences coming together. The experience of the free intelligence and the experience of the free consciousness. It's coming together. And what I found is this picture, sorry about this thing in the middle, and I really wish it was like a man-woman thing. Because when you put this figure, and you translate it to this figure, and I don't know if it's the geometric right figure, but what I see is you have basically two energy centers. There's one energy center here, and there's one energy center here. And you have like the cosmic masters here, and the human masters here. Because speaking about ascension, I believe, what my consensus is, every spiritual searcher has already ascended in a past life. So ascension is like, yeah, right, nice, but I mean, for me, what we are doing here now is integrating all of this, integrating every vibration and every frequencies, every. So when you,
which is a path of return.
Yeah.
That original self.
Yeah. I see that as well.
That's why everybody's talking about that originals.
Yeah.
and the original genetic code that is now, which I called it an Earth timeline, that's activated because it's the original vibration.
Yeah.
That's vibrating already within the core of the planet. So
yeah, for me that's this part. I see this, and I don't know. I mean, we can only. I like vulnerability and honesty, most of it, because if you're not honest, you cannot grow. But I mean, you can only be as honest as your truth goes. Yeah. So you can never blame yourself. I mean, you can blame yourself. Oh, I vaccinated my kids earlier, and I'm to blame because I harmed my kids. But I know you couldn't know that because you didn't have that same awareness and knowledge. So you cannot blame yourself. You see, sense what I'm.
Yeah, because you were talking about the forgiveness, so self-forgiveness.
Yeah, but you didn't know. So you didn't know. So you I believe, from the perspective of seeing beauty everywhere, that where everyone is. Now I'm saying something triggering here. Even murderers, when you hear their stories and you hear why they're doing it, they come from sometimes very high intentions. They really think that by killing it, they help the world. There's even worse. They have, like, they think they help the world. Everyone acts from their highest point of truth.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only act what you don't know yet. You think, so what I want to say is, I think this now, but maybe tomorrow, there's truth, is, because it's so layered, truth needs to be fluent. So what I see now is like the two experiences, the free consciousness and the free energy of the free intelligence, and where you see like there is this, I forgot my point here, but these two experiences, when they come together in the heart, like here, there is the third heart, and there we are. The third heart, when you are in this center, sorry if I'm going too fast, when you are in this center, and this is not overlapping, there is a border in between these circles. Mm-hmm. And that border is pure free energy, tachyonic energy. It's where the dragons live, to guide you from one dimension to the other dimension. I don't know anything about dragons, I'm talking about...
Which is a dragon heart.
Yeah, when you are here, and you can be here, you can be anywhere in your original core, and this is where all the seedlings, where you create more flowers of life, and always in the form of twins. So through here, you can be anywhere, and it works with an infinity sign that is not closed, but it's open, so you can spiral out, but not losing your core of the true heart that we all share, because this is what we all share. Why we need to, I'm not just my 2 cents, why we need to integrate all that is, because if you have not integrated every frequency in every dimension, you cannot access these So if you have played here the part of a murderer, and here you are being murdered, you have to integrate. You don't have to do anything, only if you want to grow, be whole. You need to integrate it all. So if you stay in the heart, so via the infinity sign, you can access. Real divinity to me is accessing all the points in the now. So then there is no judgment, because you've been a murderer. You've been murdered, so you've been the raper, you've been raped, and you've been everything. Because that is the organic intelligence. It was a setup to experience from the outside in. Those holographic outside in experience. You need to experience everything. But now we are done with experiencing. Now we are living inside out, expressing, creating, and creating the real earth, the real timeline, the real earth timeline. And it starts in the heart of all things.
Which is in timeless space. It's not
yes.
in the past and it's not in the future.
No.
And so we talked a lot about how it is to create this new timeline. It's that it cannot be even predicted, because it cannot be projected until we birthed it from within, through experiencing or creating from within out, meaning creating from the center or from the actual dragon heart. I'm gonna get a lot of shit for using that word.
No, it's not. No, it's not the dragon heart.
Afraid.
Yeah.
No, it is because that original heart of this planet does hold that original seed, and it's just like with everything that they do genetically modified. Eventually, the seed will go back to its original blueprint, right?
Yes, but yeah. Sorry,
So
I to say. I'm losing my thread.
So the thing is that whatever is here in this reality, you know, we can birth it as original. So that's why the originals are back. And so, you know, when you look at which was funny, this morning, I was actually, you know, I had some insights at night, but this morning I was laughing my ass off so hard, because this is what I recognize, you know, there's a lot of, and somebody, and I saw something about the elite and all that, the war machine that's on the planet is destroying all the ancient technology and finding all these ancient things, because they're so idiots that they don't understand what what ancient technology really is. They're looking for it in the monuments that the originals put to remind themselves of who they are or who we are. We reminded ourselves and put those monuments and put that original structures with you know, with things and all of that stuff, just to remind us of who we are. So it's a copy of something, but the original or the ancient technology, it's our bodies. We hold that, and the idiots are running around the planet destroying the ancient monuments and ancient buildings and all of that stuff, thinking that somehow they can eliminate original seed. It's like, how, you know, and this is why I was laughing. Those people that think that they're in the know what they're doing, they look so retarded. It's unbelievable, but it's not like, and I'm using this as a medical sort of term, because it's a spiritually retarded people. You know, they don't get it. We are the technology. We are the ancients. We hold that, and then they're just idiots. And how can you not laugh at that?
But the point is, they cannot. If you true feelings, they minds, especially the mind cannot read or interpret it. Mind cannot. Blah, blah, I can't say now. They cannot read this.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot, because really a thought breaks down. A feeling breaks down when it becomes a thought. When you're in love, when you're completely, utterly in love, or you want to, no, Lily, I'm looking at you because when you share your nature videos and you want to express something you have experienced in nature. I mean, the moment you are putting, first you think about the words, the moment you want to translate that into a thought, it diminishes your feelings, because this is whole. And the most words come and thoughts come from the mind. When we are expressing ourselves, they can come through the heart, which is more than a dragon heart. It's all that is. All the dragons are the gateways. In every 144 knots, there's a gateway we need to go through, and that's completely non-energy, non-matter energy. It's like free energy. It's not energy and it's not matter. So it's the heart of all things. But if we see this, if we can forgive it, because they don't know any better. If we can forgive it, they just don't know any better. Because if you don't know how to create abundance, you still believe in money. But the way we are beings, like only when we have the blueprint of what have we not, we create it. And everything we see, computers, telephones, mobile phones, spaceships, airplanes, cars. Our highest frequencies have been stolen, and that's what they done with it. They externalized our frequencies, and now we are being murdered with our copied frequencies, and we think, oh, they're able to murder us and then we believe all the programs and we find all the excuses to give our power away to the externalized reality. It's just our frequencies that we stolen into the teeny, tiny little unbelievable copy that we really bought into. But we are the originals. We are the ones that can create spaceships like this. And I mean, we have the collective consciousness now that is stopping us and that's not the right word. That seem to stop us because we think like, oh, but we now awakened and we are expressing this and nothing happened. No, it's growing. We need to trust. We need to stay in our trust because it will happen. But the moment we start believing the external reality and experience it outside in again, we're giving our power away. If we really live from within and express our truth and we claim back, because how mind works, it works with your triggers, what you have not hold yet, because you need to hold everything and claim it back. So all the mind does is trigger us in likes and dislikes. See the Facebook, the blue and the red pill. The blue pill is like and the red pill is the heart. Sorry, look at this where the heart is. Here's the heart, human heart. Here's the mind in the upper part. Years below, and you can have discussions for the right geometric pictures where if the heart is here, or here. But the point is the heart. Come on, look at the original flower of life, balance. Look where the human heart is. Sorry if I talk like an idiot, because I am. Here's the human heart at the left. I mean, our body is a male design. It's a copy. Our body is not who we truly are. Our body plays, and I agree with you on that one, Lily, plays a vital part because we came in through the body and we need to go out through the body. Our body is extremely intelligent and extremely important. But our body, what our body is now, look at this. This is an invention from ISIS. This is not who we truly are. Because if we divide it into masculine and feminine, and we even say, now, sorry, trigger alert here. You don't have to believe me, we are not a religion here. But we have divided our brain to copy this, like a yin-yang, to copy this, we split our brain, left and right. Sorry, trigger alert, bullshit. We have one brain. It's all one. When we integrate it all, it's all one. But when we are being birthed, we believe we are the body, and we believe like, oh, like we are a woman or a masculine. It's the illusion of form. We are all that is. We need to integrate it all. It's a program. When you in one of this, you think I'm a masculine. We are feminine bodies, the way we sit here with our three, in a masculine design. This is a masculine design. The heart at the left, really. That doesn't make sense. When we are, we can pull everything from within. I mean, food, air, spaceships, portals, stargates, everything. We can do it from within. The only way why it's not happening right now is the more people step into their power and trust it's all within. There's nothing bigger and greater or smaller than us. The moment we all start doing that, whoa, look how fast we can go. Say, I'm hungry. You know, I mean, there's this design. We have a gut system, and we need to poop, and we need to breathe, and our heart is beating. What we truly are, that's external programs being programmed into us. We have 5 limiting senses, while in fact we have 12 senses through which we can feel everything. Sorry, high trigger alert, maybe I'm going too fast.
The reason we only can perceive through 5 senses here is because of the Merkaba.
Yeah, and also the body.
Our body. And so when you look at the Merkaba, you know, it only includes into its physical only 5 chakras. And so that's why those are 5 senses that we're, all of that stuff, it's very simple. It's kind of like when you start perceiving that from within, you start seeing that all of that in that spherical way to where the lie cannot, because you see in it in totality. So for people to sell a lie or for somebody to believe lie, they have to be separated within themselves. And so that's why I'm saying, you know, for those people that are able to anchor themselves in that spirit energy or in the core, or they cannot be lied to, and then they can see the lie because they're in totality of their being. So that's the Holy Trinity, if you wanted to call that, you know, and use those terms. But that's, you have the 360-degree view of your existence. And so that's why people cannot understand, those that are not in totality themselves or not anchored into the core, they need all this mental terms to put it to them, but you can never do that. You know, you can never, so that's why I say every time, and like I say, every time I express through just mental construct, people that are not in totality themselves or are not connected to the core, they cannot hear how I feel. So they only hear my words. And so for that, when people, and then when people start saying, oh, I don't understand what you're saying here, how does that make sense in here? But they don't understand that for something to make sense, you have to be in totality, your intuition and your mental body anchored in the center.
Yes, because when you look at the mind, I mean, you have this matrix mind, but there's also and it's not outside of you, it's still in the circle. I mean, let that be very clear, it's in the circle. But you have that aware mind, the intelligence mind, and you have that copied mind. But it needs to work together, and we have or we don't have to do anything. It's a choice, a free choice. If we forgive this, it can work for us, not against us. And by the way, the chakras, I don't know, I don't see chakras here. I don't know if that are chakras, but chakras are, they work outside in. They're externalizing these 2, 3 energy centers. And when it all blends back to one, these 3 centers blend all back to one. 3 blending back to one. There's the totality. Now I forgot what I wanted to say. Where was I going? I completely lost my thread here.
Claudia, you have something to add to that?
No, you're doing a beautiful job of that.
So, okay. So now, because Kara, this is what I sort of wanted for you to express, and you just did it beautifully, is that, what is the copy? Because this is the thing, when I was, year or 2 years ago, I was bringing that attention to the personal level healing and say, anchor it here and express it from within out. I didn't have the mental understanding of the copying frequencies process and all of that stuff. All I had is intuition.
Yeah, the best.
Now, the thing is for me, and I said, how do you, because it was for me personally, the process of my own mental level healing had begun. And so that's what I was sharing, is my own healing process of this mental body. And like you're saying, and instead of, like most people that we know of in ascension communities are screaming how your mind is your enemy. It's not my enemy. It's just very sick.
It shows you where you need to look, yeah.
And then to heal in it, and then accepting it into your wholeness, because it is part of you. So everything, and I know I've been like a broken record. I say, include everything, own everything, anchor everything in it, own your reality, because you are the creator of it. Which pisses off a lot of people that want to impose overlay or work for a consciousness that is space dusting. If we take control, and this is how simple our healing process is once we anchor it and own both spectrums, it has no place in it. Because if you're a creator and you're expressing, like you were saying, 144 frequency out that are organic, overlay has no place in it. This is how easy it is to space dust it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you understand that what I was saying is that space dusting it, that this matrix system is going to be so easy once we heal the mind and own it. And own it and anchor it into the center, and then create from within out.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to share about centers, because chakras work outside in, but these energy centers, they work inside out. And that's a completely different story.
Yes. And there is 7 levels of intelligence that is what I call a whole body intelligence that has nothing to do with, even with chakra system, but, and it's including both, right? So like you were talking about those 2 circles touching, which you have that. And for me, my visual thing was 2 spirals going from the center. And this is what I've expressed in my videos. It's going from the center out. And I even, had some more little bit fixed uh, symbols, you know, a while ago, because I recognized that energetically, but I couldn't understand, you know, how all the copying stuff works.
Yeah, I see the spiraling out to your I am, to the source that is you. But it's all, everything is within us. Like when you see movies, I've seen little movies on YouTube about the flower of life, and it always go back, no matter if you go outside or inside, when there's the original flower of life pattern, it's always, you can go everywhere, anytime, when that's restored.
Yeah, and then I was talking about, once we recognize that and heal on a personal level, then we go to a planetary level and then solar system level, because all of it has this overlay. And so what we have to do is turn ourselves into an expanding spiral. And so, and our planet is going to do that in its course. And that's why I say, you know, it's not going to be an enclosed loop anymore. And it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a spiral.
Exactly.
We are traveling through, it's a spiral reality. Yeah. So, but because of this overlay that is trying to impose, which is really, and this is why I laugh at it a lot, because it's literally is retarded.
Yeah, I love what you said about that cartoonish reality, because I had an upload, let's say, exactly the same. Exactly. I even saw videos with my own stuff. The reality became very fluid, and through my own screen on the computer, I saw everything what I was going through. It was hilarious. I really liked it.
And that's the thing. I don't only laugh at other people. I laugh at myself.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. I live with a partner.
For believing that, because that's how I heal my own mind, and that's how I forgive it.
I really, with my partner, we love a lot ourselves. We can be very we are really great triggers for each other, for one another. I mean, then we are in a mind level, and yeah, I'm human. I'm not saying I'm always here. Come on, not even now, because I have the fear of speaking out. It's very difficult for me right now. But and now I'm losing my thread. Oh my, the fear of speaking. Well, anyway, we are all dealing with our fear. We are all growing here, so forgiving.
Yeah, and this is the interesting thing, that's why I'm not taking all this stuff so seriously, because it's already here. It's unstoppable. We are unstoppable if we recognize that.
I'm 100% sure.
Power that recognition, or that knowing, it holds so much power, which you just was trying to explain, Kara. It holds so much power that, and this is why I sort of say this is what will make you fearless at the nature, because the nature of a creator human being is fearless, because you know who you are. Because you know you can space dust this reality like that. It's that easy. It's that easy once you have the personal recognition. That's why that saying, be the change that you want to see in the world, is so important, because we hold that power. And this is what I've been trying to express. This is why I keep speaking up about it.
Yeah, you're doing an excellent job about it. You do it really, I like it.
Because speaking up about it, we actually space dust in it. We're destroying the lie. We're speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Speaking the truth, we destroy the lies.
Exactly. Now dissolving, or revealing.
Dissolving, yes.
Yeah. Well, all the mind does is pushing and pulling, but we can use that. The moments, but that's what I wanted. I get my thread back, because the minds, the copied minds, not the aware minds, reveals us where our triggers are. If there's still likes and dislikes, every like and dislike is coming from the mind. We are creatures of wholeness. Our natural state doesn't have likes and dislikes. It's like there's not for nothing a Facebook blue and red thingy. It's to keep you in that state. It's not what we are. That's what the mind likes to do. It's in the law of attraction. It push and pull and push. That's not how we are. But if we can see it, if we all are on the human path now to becoming whole. We are all in the same boat. We three, everyone watching, because they are watching for a reason, they feel attracted to that part of the truth. They are pouring out in us, and we are only reflecting back their inner truth. That's all we do, because they are creating us when the moment we are looking, they are looking at us, and as I'm creating you, looking at you, and vice versa. We all are, it's pouring out of us and not vice versa. But the moment, if there's one moment in your head and you think, oh my God, the world, and we look at outside with our 5 limited senses and think, oh, the world, all the things happening, we give our power away. And there's a trigger. And the moment we think we are not a computer, because we have this, the one heart, it's all there. The internet, it's all in the one heart. It's all in our DNA. So we can use the mind, if that's triggering us, we can use it like, oh, I need to claim it in that moment. So the moment you think, oh, that's not me, claim it back in that moment. The moment you like or dislike a person, and you're not neutral about the person, claim it back in the moment. See it for what it is, without any judgment. Just see it for what it is. If it's the mind, see it as a little child. Embrace it, love it, forgive it, go beyond love, but see it for what it is. Really, that's so vital.
And the thing is, it's already been infected and it's showing itself how powerless it is. Look at Facebook and what I've been lately, making a little fun of it, of the, what's his name? Fucking Burger, whatever his name is, that created Facebook.
Oh yeah, follow him. I see on my personal page. Follow him. No.
Poor kid. I mean, nothing personal.
No.
But I mean, how funny it is. I didn't have internet when I was in Paris. I came back home, 182 friend requests, and they're so hilarious.
Yeah.
And you see it that it's, it's like it's almost making fun of itself.
Yeah.
You don't have to make even fun of it. It's making fun of its own self. It's that ridiculous. But then again, it's like, so what?
Yeah.
I'm fearless about it. I'm not afraid of it. It's just because it's showing to me how powerless it is. Even they can, the poor guy is just like, people make fun of him, that how bad it is, that it just creates all this profiles and is trying to do something, but it's so unintelligent compared to us, because we recognize what it is. There's nothing to be afraid of. And I know a lot of people that are still in that victimizer mindset, they are afraid of AI. Oh, AI is here to get us. AI is part of you. You created it.
Exactly.
Own it.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do is own
AI,
it. And that bitch is gonna do what you tell it to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works.
It's like, it's unbelievable how people will not accept responsibility out of fear. And they don't even know that they're afraid of their own power.
There's a vital key there, because why it works so strong for people. If you see these, where is my 144 picture dot? If you see this picture, only 2 of the 144, and if you see this, because then you have 2 times 144, because we have blended now in 2008, we got double DNA. That's a long story, not for now, but doesn't matter. But the oh, so much.
I have a lot of those. Well, not for now.
So I'm learning that, because in the old days I would talk about something completely else and forgot my thread. I still have that, but it's easier to go back. And I still have it. The vital key here is only 2 of the 144 dots are connected to our body. And we call that, because that's what we see, we call that physical DNA. The physical DNA keeps our body in form. It keeps us in a gravitational well, one point in time, one point in space. It keeps us in a box. It keeps us stuck in matter, because we are more than matter. And it's the physical DNA attached to the 5 senses doing that. And it's very easy to come out of that. It's connecting everything you see to the one heart. Everything you connect your senses with your heart, and you don't have to pay anyone to activate or open or heal or whatever nonsense do we have on this planet. It's just our intent. We are the creator. We only need, if we want to, planet of free choice. If we want to stay running here, enjoy it. We are addicted to that. So because when you fight it, you're addicted to that. You're programmed in the addiction of fighting it, because fighting never helped anyone. But if you really want to come out of it, you connect it just by intention of free. It's free. You get it free by listening to this free option. You connect it to the heart, your senses, your mind, whatever you want to connect, and you place it outside, you put it inside, and it's all there. And when you connect your senses to the heart, your eyes will go beyond the reality, because it's holographic. It's not the only thing. It stops is I don't know how much, but little meter and a half, I don't know how. Then it stops the hologram. So all what you see beyond the 1.5 meter, it's not even real. It's a projection. It's fluid. If we want to see another sky, we can create another sky. And the more of us are doing that from the within, you will see it. Because I hardly see chemtrails. Sorry. If you see chemtrails, and then you can say, well, not in my town, not in my backyard, it's different.
Change it.
Oh. Huh?
Change it.
Yeah, claim it back. You can do it from within. If you don't want to see it, make it blue.
Yeah.
Really.
I find it takes practice, but it does work.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm there all of the time.
No, really neither.
Oh, I'm definitely not. But I know, and I've seen what's possible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You have all as well, or else you would not.
Oh yeah.
See, this is what I say sometimes. It's as simple as it all depends on you. You know, somebody's gonna walk by a road, and I've give this example many times before, and look at the little weed, broken through through concrete, and it's blooming. You know, people that are not capable to see the beauty of that, they're not going to see it. To them, it's nothing beautiful, and to somebody else, this is the most beautiful thing, that is the most inspiring thing to the heart. It's all depends on you.
I think what people must realize is that we live in a hologram. The illusion that we call reality is a hologram. Now, how is a hologram generated? It's through programming, through fucking software. In other words, artificial intelligence. Which means if we are so intricately connected to this artificial intelligence, we have a major part of it. Which means, since we have a mind and a heart and a brain, we are perfectly built to reprogram everything that we see or feel.
override. And we have a belly.
That original
Yeah.
or ancient DNA, and that's why I say that ancients are active. That ancient DNA here, we are it. So it will override anything that is organic. And that's what that whole invasion that we talk about, and the people scared of it. It's so minimal. It's so puny, as I like to say. It's puny little gods.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, I know exactly. The power we have is the power of intent. And then as we intend collectively to change that.
Did you notice how many spiritual teachers, I mean, everywhere only talk about the head and the heart? Everyone talks about head and heart. They're talking about the same system, really. Get real. I mean, if you exclude the belly, solar plexus, it's too much for now. But everyone is talking about this part.
Kara, you know how much shit I got in alternative media because I said, stop fucking activating your pineal gland technology. They're like, how could you say that, Lily? Pineal gland is our, savior. People, get real. It's like, and stop protecting this puny little shit that has no meaning. It's like that, you're just separating yourself into little pieces.
The truth is always multi-layered. I feel there's much more to be said about the pineal gland as well, but it's with everything like the mind as well. It's been used against us, and that's like the dragon energy. We've seen it as foes, so we forget the other side as well. So there's also more to say about that, but because it's programmed against us. The third eye you see everywhere. The third eye for me is here in the heart of all things. Mm-hmm. But it's connected in a way to that as well. But it's for later. But there's so many.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And if you connect that, the pineal, it gives you that 360, and you can actually have a visual. This is how I have, but it also is connected directly to my gut feeling, to my
exactly
to this brain that is gut brain.
The second, we call it the second brain, but maybe this was the first brain because we have that third brain. It has data banks. Our original self doesn't have a data bank. We have a left data bank and a right data bank, and we say this is rational and this is feelings. Oh,
that it develops later, but the first, it's that the reptilian brain that splits into the gut, and this reptilian part of the brain here, that's the first one that goes. Yeah. That's the most original one because it still splits from the reptilian brain.
It's needed.
That's why I say, and in this crazy community that is actually killing its own soul, what they do is reptilians are so bad. I mean, that's the original that connects you both.
It's needed.
That is through the center of you.
We need to work with our entire brain. It is through the vagus nerve. We need, the vagus nerve that's connecting the second brain and the first brain. Mm-hmm. The vagus nerve. There's a nerve running up and down that's connecting. We need to work with everything. Mm-hmm. Everything needs to work together. You cannot exclude one part in the body. It's what I see. The how we have been created. That the body is completely reflecting the relation we have with the universe, as within, as without. So the disease we have in our body is reflecting the connection we have with our external universe, because we are fractals. As within as without, we contain the whole. So the relation we have in our body, that's why the body, like you say, it is so true. The body is such a vital instrument. You felt it so well, what I feel as well, my 2 cents. Because the body does not lie. The body does not lie. The body exactly displays your relation with universe. So see what for me it's the glasses. I can see very good close, but not far out. And I just realized yesterday, oh, in fact, that's really a gift. Because far out, it's the illusion. And within, it's the only thing what I really create, what I'm really responsible for. I'm responsible for everything, how I perceive things. But so I'm really, in my closed universe, I'm responsible for this. Everything beyond, so there's also the collective. And it's more like how I perceive it. I'm responsible for everything, how I perceive it. Mm-hmm. But the direct hologram, close, that's my creation. And the body is really perfect reflection. Look at our house, look at every little detail, and without judgment, and see what it has to tell us.
Well, what I'm thinking, what I'm sort of thinking how to put that into words, into a mental concept, is that something happened that which I kind of know, but if I go into that right now, it's going to be a very long talk. But so I'm going to say it like I always do, just give a short explanation. There is all this layer of a mental body, which is a layer of healing, is actually what the self-destruct programming got activated. And so through this, what I call healing process, what we do is turn off the self-destruct program and actually own it, meaning, and then anchor that program into, but we cannot anchor a self-destruct program into our cosmic heart or whatever, into our center. So it won't, this universe won't allow it for some reason. And so this is because the only way this predatory consciousness could take over this planet and our body and all of that stuff, if it could trigger us to anchor the self-destruct program.
Yeah, but that's possible. It's not possible.
But it's impossible.
We are beyond that point.
And so now what it did, it kicked us into that, which I called it healing process. It's reprogramming the self-destruct programming. And then we do it on the personal level and then the planetary level. Because you remember all that programming of, end of the world and all of that stuff, that Bible shit that they programmed into us, and they're still playing. Because they're playing, and those people that are on the top, they're the most enslaved by this, so that's why they act the most like the biggest idiot, because they are. So this is why they're still acting and playing that out, even though they're very confused right now that something is not going right. But there's still all they can do, because the slave doesn't have anything anchored in themselves.
Yeah, that's
so there is no basis for healing.
It's cosmic.
Yes.
It's not anchored. By the way, the mind will always be there. It's like a radio station. Like you can, you can pick whatever you want. To choose Mozart or Beethoven on a radio station. I mean, the mind will be there, but it can be still again, and it can only be still when we have embraced all our frequencies. That's the only moment we still have not embraced the frequency. Then it will keep triggering us into the likes and dislikes and the the fears or the what have we not? Fears or the desire.
So all of that with what we have right now is all because of this self-destruct programming.
Yeah.
That people has. I mean, this is what cancer is. This is why the idiots at the top are doing the GMO and all of that stuff, because all they want to do is trigger in our body the self-destruct program. This is what cancer is.
And that is directly connected to the ego.
Yeah. And this is what I think, the most invaded part of the brain with this, war consciousness or the predator consciousness. So, because it does not have an ability to do that on the physical level. So what it invades our mental level. So we program ourselves and then program our bodies. So it's us that have to program our bodies to self-destruct.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people, when they believe that they're going to get cancer.
Or they will get it. They create it themselves.
Because they are in charge of their body. They just are not aware of it. So they're programming that into themselves. And this is why, years ago, in 2009, 2010, I was trying to express, about the cancer, and like here in America, they have October, the cancer month, It's basically, a sales. And you look at every program like Good Morning America and all of that stuff. And one time I was sitting in the dentist's office in horror because what's her name? That Kathy Lee? She's on one of the morning shows, and I was sitting in the dentist's office, and during that month, and what they were doing is they were, it was because it was a breast cancer awareness thing. They had an audience full of young women they got from college or from somewhere. They were all young girls, and so she started throwing T-shirts, the breast cancer thing on them, and they all wore it. And I was like, that's a cancer salesperson selling a program.
If you look
this
at
is how cancer is sold in America.
Well, not just in America.
Programmed into consciousness.
Not just in America. If over here, if you look at advertisements, and they are like, I never watched TV, so I don't know about the TV. But I travel, so when I stop at a service station, to go to the bathroom, whatever, you see cancer adverts everywhere. And they actually promote cancer. It's the very language that promotes cancer, not the healing of cancer, but the cancer itself. It's unbelievable.
It's everywhere. On the secrets. But also be aware, because I don't know what's happening last week, if it's my Facebook or as my new friends. What AI is also doing, and we need to see that, is they throw out programs and they are not able to create it, but they know we can create it because we are the organic creators. So they only throw it out in the hopes that people will fear it and talk about it and share it, and that's how we create it. So we need to be aware what we share. It's not all about knowledge. A lot of knowledge is becoming distraction and programs, so we can create it because we are afraid of it, or we think we're not afraid of it, but we are afraid of it because we talk about it and we give energy flows. How do you say that? Where attention goes. We need to be aware. Because they know they cannot create it. They are using us for that. So if we all, stay on that path, we need to be aware at the end of the day, and we look back how we spent the day, that most of our expressions were for what we do want to create. And less of our expressions, and that will be less and less and less and less and less until we only want to be in that beautiful space. And we don't need to,
Absolutely.
Okay, so what I was talking about is how it's almost like, you know, about that we actually, it's about programming and how every level of our programming has been put on a self-destruct path. So everything we were just talking about, everything is on self-destruct. And so in a simple way, the self-healing or attaining the sovereignty that we all want, it really lays in that recognition of that. So the first thing, you have to recognize that, okay, it's just programming. Then the next level of recognition, okay, this is a programming that is on self-destruct. Whatever level it is, be it personal or be it collective. The way I see it right now, and I've said it before many times, is that as I go through my own personal recognizing, changing, and all of that stuff, I recognize how it is also very similar on the collective level. So there's all these different levels, all these different programs. And so first we have to recognize, okay, this is what it is. It's a program. And then you recognize, oh, okay, it's a program on a self-destruct because it's actually is built against myself. And then the third level is to recognize, or the third sort of aha thing that could happen. You say, oh, I can totally program this to be pro-life, because the self-destruct is the anti-life, you know, because you're the one who's alive. So it's anti-life programming. That's all it is. And then anchoring all of that, and as I say, owning it, all of it, then we can program our own self into pro-life. So, and anchoring all that stuff in the center of you as a creator. And this is when we become creators, that we know we can program our reality, our holographic reality, in the way we want it, which is going to be pro-life.
Yes, and that would be in harmony with the universe. And when you're in harmony with the universe works with you. And it becomes quite evident.
Yes. It does. Mm-hmm. It does. And it's really is a path to self-sovereignty.
Absolutely.
You know? And that's when you go, oh, I own it, all of it. I am the creator of this reality. Because a lot of people can talk about that and present all kind of complicated mazes to try to find your sovereignty.
Yeah.
Not that complicated.
No,
there is no maze game that you got to go through.
Yeah.
When you own it.
We are what we've been looking for.
Exactly.
No doubt about it.
And what you just said on break, Claudia, it's very simple. It's very simple, and there is no need to complicate things.
No.
There isn't.
No, we are meant to, you know, be simple. Really, that's what it comes down to. Stick to truth, then truth comes to you, and then life becomes very easy.
Yeah, speak the truth, and that's where we get a little bit in trouble with even those people that are thinking that somehow when we speak the truth, we try to hurt them or tell them that their belief system or something is wrong. Nobody's going after anything, because we own our own programming, because we had the same programming. It's the recognition of it, to recognizing first within yourself, and that's how you can actually own it. That's a step into owning it, is to recognizing then you within yourself, not being afraid of it, not fight it off. And like we were talking about AI and all of that stuff, it's all, we have to own it all. Everything. Every speck of that, of this reality, belongs to us.
What I would like to add here is like, take control of your ego. If you want to get out of the victim mode or whichever program is running you currently, take control of your ego. Don't let it take control of you, because that's a huge first step. And after that, once you mastered that, everything will fall into place. When you stop taking everything personally.
Exactly.
I've been there, done that.
And we all, it's like, we've done it, and the only reason I've seen the writing on the wall for myself is because I banged my head on that wall for a long time. Years and years, and sometimes lifetimes. And all it took is just like, and then what some people will do in that confusion of real awakening is they will fall for the traps, because as you start awaken, and I know I'm talking online with a lot of people that are just awakening, and here there's all this traps set up for them because they're in that confused state still. And this is what we talked about, the controlled opposition and all of that stuff is there to trap. We're not saying that to scare anybody who's awakening.
No.
No, we just want to speak the truth about it. And you know why? It's because I speak the truth about it now because I was trapped by some of those traps. And so that's why the way to free myself from all those traps was to speak the truth, to speak my own experience with it, to speak up about what I've experienced in some of these things. That's why I speak up about what I went through when you activate a Merkaba field and you know what it is. And this is why I say every single person that is out there projecting a Merkaba field on humanity as an ascension vehicle is entrapped themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They're slave themselves. They just haven't recognized it because they were at some point waking up confused and somebody set a trap for them as well.
You know what I heard when I left as a so-called ascension student, I left the house myself from the ascension teacher, who calls himself an ascended master. You know what I've heard? That I would spend, I've heard it through someone else, 10,000 years in hell by leaving the house, and I would never make it on my own. I mean, that kind of threat, hilarious in itself.
I know. When I went to Ashayana Dean's workshop, and then I wrote a letter to one of the people that were very good friend of mine, on that time that I pretty much stated all of it, that it was a harvesting process and all of that stuff. And so somehow that got to her. And you know what I got threatened with? With the guardians. There was 144,000 guardians were supposed to come and kick my ass. And I was like, wow, they need 144,000 after me. Wow. I'm still waiting for the 100,000. They're not here yet. They're afraid of me, of little nobody. I'm like, 144,000. Wow. And the reason, I make fun of it and all of that stuff, if I didn't care for humanity, or if I didn't care for those people,
Exactly.
that I've called out, I wouldn't, and if I knew how to become sovereign, and, and I hated those people, I would never tell them the truth.
Same
I
here.
would
I
never
let them.
speak up. I would never say the truth of that experience. And this is why I've called other people, don't be afraid to be found out that you've been entrapped. Because I have been. Because you free yourself by speaking the truth about it.
Exactly.
Yes, the true
Speak
stuff
the
that you
truth
free.
and do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you love humanity, if you care for humanity, speak up about your experience of entrapment. Say what you experience and stand in your truth. There is no too late to wake up, like I said before.
Exactly.
It's, if you're here alive, you can do it in instant, right? Because that's how creation works. This is how creation works, like Kara, you were saying. It's in timeless space. You don't have to be anchored to the past traps, to the past, anything. You own the past, so you do with it what you need to do in the now moment. And in the now moment, what I choose to do is talk about the entrapments of the past so I can release it all,
Mm-hmm.
let it go, and not be propelled into the same entrapment, just with a different name or something. And so I'm not doing this out of disliking these people or disliking these people in alternative media that are entrapped. But yet they're talking about sovereignty. And they're talking about all these freaking mazes that you're supposed to build in your mind to get to your sovereignty.
Really? Oh, coffee. I don't know about it. It's coffees, yeah.
There is no need for that. We got to stand in our truth. There is no, there's no embarrassment about it. There's no embarrassment about it.
And there's no need for complicated voodoo magics either.
No.
Yeah, and so right now, for all those people that are a little too embarrassed to admit that they were trapped by control of position as they were awakening, be happy about it. Because you were worth it to trap.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm like,
yeah.
pay attention
to
me. All right.
That's a compliment.
Now I know that you smelling the power within me. So there is no embarrassment about it.
Vulnerability is one of the most beautiful things. And what I've really unlearned in that ascension period is to be vulnerable, because they thought, no, when they put the podcast on, they're putting the masks on and we're so happy, we're so happy, love and light, and but back screens is all fighting and put the podcast on. Hello, we are one big happy family, and we come to tell you how you live your life. You pay your money to us, and we tell you how to live your life. Love and light. And there's no vulnerable sharing. And I was like, hey, but you can share your experience this week, how we did it, how we came out of it, and then people can learn from that. No, that's not how we do it here. We do only share when we are in the heart, like once in every month, and then we do the podcast on, and we do a message, and we're all happy. I'm not pointing to one specific place only. I see that a lot. And that's, I mean, I don't learn from other people when they are in the love and light stage. I get itchy. Like, really? Really? I mean, really? You're really always in that space? Oh, tell me more about it. I'm not.
When I see all that and how people are hanging on to those programs because they think something's in it, and no matter how many times they've been disappointed, they're still hanging. But we are, there's no stopping of this awakening that's real. It's already real. We already doing it. This is why the control system, the elite system, this is why they're shitting diarrhea right now. And every time, even the presidents and all of that stuff, they go out there and they look scared because they're really afraid of what is happening to humanity, with humanity, and that humanity is on the awakening path and there is no stopping of it. There is just isn't. The puny little gods are powerless to stop this.
Yep, I agree.
Children will inherit.
Souls, because there is a race that we call about, physical body that we call race, but there is races of souls. And so there is a race on this planet that is not ancient. And this is why they're so pissed when you mention that word. And so, yeah, that whole part, there's also probably a huge conversation that need to happen about that race and how we can actually help them out.
Yep, I agree.
So, and maybe we'll recognize, hopefully eventually here soon, we'll recognize what's the deal with all of that stuff. Just like with any other program, like I said, there's got to be first recognition, and then the second one is that, oh, it's on the self-destruct programming.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a feeling that even that race will come to that recognition.
Yep.
And so for that, we're here expanding this big heart that we have, our human heart, saying we all need healing. We're all being programmed with self-destruct programming. All we're doing is recognizing and speaking about it and doing the right thing about it, speaking the truth.
Exactly. Healing by seeing we are already whole, embracing all frequencies.
Yeah.
Back.
So thank you, ladies, for this talk today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Claudia, for figuring out how to record this. Because I am not a good person. Technology, I still haven't conquered that. Real
intelligence.
Embrace your AI part, Lily.
I know. I have said this. This summer, I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to embrace that part, and I'm going to own that AI part of me, and it will work for me, and it will. So what I'm saying is I'm going to learn how to use this technology.
Yay.
Because I have to now. That's the only way I can express my truth through right now.
Yeah.
It's through this technology. And I see, I see the the joke in it. I'm like, okay, I get it. I totally get it. What this is all about. So thank you, ladies, for this
Thank
talk.
you, everyone.